Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Caught my husband and best friend. Need support. I posted this on r/breakups, but thought it might be more fitting here. The other night, I walked in on my best friend and husband. I had my suspicions for a couple months, and was gaslit by him every time I brought it up. As a result, my mental health declined in a major way. This was the only thing I had on my mind for the last few weeks. I'm purposefully being vague for the sake of my attorney, not that it's really even necessary, as neither use Reddit/ could possibly tie this account to me, and this is going down as no fault. We were married for a very short period of time, less than 1 year, but had been together for almost 4 years. The past few months, my ex-best friend separated from her husband, and me, being an excellent friend, made her my priority. I didn't want her to feel an ounce of loneliness, so I invited her into my life, our lives. We even moved into a bigger space so we could have a proper home for the three of us. I never expected this to turn out this way. After all, she was my best friend for a decade and a half. I trusted her more than anything. And she just shoved it right up my ass in the most egregious way imaginable. I don't know how to cope with this betrayal. I have a bright future ahead of me, career-wise, but it just doesn't feel enough. It's still very fresh, but every morning waking up alone and having reality hit me is like one giant slap in the face all over again. How could they do this to me? Where am I supposed to go from here? Edit, I'll be back in a few hours to reply to more people. Thank you so much for your help and for helping me feel less alone. I'm just out of emotional energy to keep discussing this for the time being. Edit 2, I did not expect the overwhelming response that I got to this post. Thank you all for your kind words, your wisdom, your shared experiences, and your love. I can't even express how much this was needed. If I haven't answered more situation-specific questions at this point, it's because it doesn't really matter anymore. What's done is done, and I know it's unhealthy for me to keep reliving the events of that night specifically, and the weeks before in which I was gaslit and suffered in silence. I'm doing my best to just keep existing for the next few days, and have a plan to get my ass back in action by Thursday, because I cannot afford to miss any more time from my career. I'm managing, just barely, but I know I will eventually be okay. The only thing I can do at this point is keep breathing and allowing time to pass. It happened to me too. For months I felt like I had no one to talk to, because the two people I wanted advice and comfort from were the one who did this to me. 2 years later, my friend hurt me worse than my so. I too was helping her with a messy divorce. She helped herself to my life. I'd love to talk to you if you are willing. This is just wow. Glad I'm not all alone. Sure. I agree, when this happened to me, losing my best friend of 25 years hurt much, much more than my husband of 18 years. 2 years later, I can honestly say it gets easier and the hurts gradually goes, and you will be a happier and stronger person for surviving this experience. It wasn't my current partner, but my high school BF cheated on me with my best friend since kindergarten. Honestly, her betrayal hurt worse. I feel this whole thread. Edit, really bad spelling, I blame autocorrect. Happened to me, too. Bought a home on the other side of the country to live next to my best friend so we could raise our families together. 6 months later she was having an affair with my husband and he was stupid enough to believe in true love. I left him, bought my own home 30 minutes away, and currently co-parent and live with my ridiculously handsome and loving boyfriend of 3 years. Looking back, now that I'm with a man who actually treats me well, it's easy to see the emotional manipulation and abuse I received from both my husband and my best friend. If your partner cheats on you with your best friend, then neither of them are respecting their relationship with you. They deserve each other. They still together? They bought a house together in the suburbs and my kids are being raised by them half the time. When you decide to parent with someone, it's no joke. None of that somebody that I used to know you'd hope for. Who needs enemies with a friend like her? No good deed goes unpunished. When my best friend needed a place to stay, she just ate our food, refused to buy toiletries, and said she didn't want to pay half her rent. You already seem to have done what needs to be done, lady. I have no advice, but I just wanted to comment. Your post hurts my soul. I wish you well. Thank you. The solidarity really does mean a lot. Leave as fast as you can. You don't need those two in your life. Luckily no kids were involved. It will take some time to heal, but you can do it. I would kick them out of your place or get a new place of your own if you can do that. I know it's easier said than done. I wish you all the best. Thank you. And yes, I moved out immediately. Had all my shit out of the apartment within 12 hours of walking in on them. I'm back at my parents'. And what sucks, was that was my home. With him it was my home. And now I feel displaced and like a teenager all over again. Time is your medicine. When I was in a similar situation I remember feeling like time wants to stand still but can't. So every minute, hour, and day that passes is, however bitter it feels, a little victory. Please God just make it go by faster. It feels worse each morning when I wake up alone. I know that feeling. Going through that right now. That feeling sucks, but guess what, it will hurt a little less each day. You sound like a strong lady champ. You will get through this. Divorce, North Carolina, and whose name is on the house, kick her out. Lease tapped with all three of us on there. My attorney will be taking care of getting me off of it. I couldn't afford it by myself. North Carolina is so difficult. I just want to hear his voice. I just want to be comforted. And knowing that I will never get that, especially once he's served this week, will ensure that will never happen. It's just so much to bear. I am so sorry. What a horrible thing to have happen. I hope that are getting help in dealing with this. I think that the most hurtful part of this type of betrayal is not so much the physical affair, but the deceit of the people that you trusted the most. I know how hard it is to put something like this behind you. You will never forget what happened, but with time the pain will diminish. Yes. Absolutely. And lying. I gave him multiple chances to come clean. This could have turned out so differently. But our relationship was broken in a lot of ways even prior to the adultery. It's a blessing in disguise and I wish it hadn't ended like this. I know what it's like to experience that kind of shock and betrayal. In 1989, I became a subject in a 5-year experimental cancer treatment program at New York University Hospital. At that time I was living in southern New Jersey, just a few miles east of Philadelphia. 2 years later, in July of 1991, I came home after my treatment, and when I walked into my house something felt strange. Even to this day I still get chills when I look back to that time. I then noticed a large manila envelope on the dining room table. It was an 8-page letter from my wife telling me that she was leaving me because she couldn't deal with the stress of our lives anymore. I subsequently found out that she was having an affair with a neighbor. It's the treachery, lies, betrayal, shock and destruction of trust that hurts the most. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I hope the intervening 32 years have been kinder to you. Thank you. I learned a lot over that period of time. It's not your fault, and please don't listen to people who might imply that it is. You helped a friend who was in need and she betrayed you. Full stop. You should be able to move a friend into your home without being worried about her and your husband. Decent human beings would resist those urges. It's the lying and gaslighting that hurts the most for me. Unfortunately, mine has not gotten better with time. My only advice to you is to get counseling sooner rather than later. I let my trauma fester for years and it has made my life more difficult than it should have been. I had co-ed bathrooms in college and I never was inappropriate with any of my friends who were girls. I was close to one of them and she was cute, but I could not bring myself to try anything with her. Even when I helped her with her partner's assisted hamstring stretch, I felt bad for even thinking about it. Don't be like me, get out and don't look back. I love my wife, but there are days that I regret not breaking up with her when I found out that she was a cheater while we were dating. For me, I have realized that I am probably codependent due to my alcoholic parent. But you should have no regrets. Blessings to you. From what you describe, you have a good heart that will be rewarded at some point. What did they say? Sorry babe, trash took itself out. They have feelings for each other. And now, they have each other and I have nothing. Which isn't even true. I have my other friends and my family all watching out for me. But my heart has been ripped out of my chest and every minute is just excruciating. It's like my grief is a hydra and every time I chop off one head 15 others show up in its place. It feels that way, but the actual truth is that, no, they don't have each other. They have an illusion of a bond which will definitely intensify in the next few weeks because the consequences of their actions will isolate them and they will only have each other temporarily. They will both convince themselves individually and together that they belong together, and this is the outcome they wanted because it's hard to face the truth, which is that they've destroyed a marriage and hurt you. This glaring knowledge will eat at them as they try to ignore it by doubling down on their great love. When the dust settles and they have to really live with each other, the elephant in the room will slowly make itself visible. The truth will have to face at some point. Relationships that begin like this rarely make it. Because both participants know deep down that they are disgusting scum that cannot trust each other, and what's more, they are each capable of inflicting pain deliberately to someone they both claim to love. So much for their love and loyalty. Remember, Op, there is no honor among thieves. I know you're right. Thank you. Relationships born out of infidelity have an extremely high failure rate. Agreed with the above. Once the dust settles, the reality of what they've done will set in and the excitement will be gone. There's also a chance that the husband will try to come crawling back to you and you will be in such a better position. Duck them. You're free now from these awful people and you can start fresh and do whatever you need to do. Op, you're so level-headed and confident. As much as this will hurt a lot, you still respect yourself plenty. I'm in total awe. Every time I read on this sub, most people are trying to find ways to stay with the cheater, to the point of hurting themselves. I am truly so proud of you. You inspire me to respect myself and go through the pain of letting go, in the goal of a better version of myself. Also so glad you have good people around you. Please stay with this mindset. They may try to contact you or tell you they are sorry. Well, remember they were not sorry when they did it. They literally created a trauma towards and for you. If they play the I was feeling bad mentally, remember that regardless of it being true or not, you don't have to partake in their healing or heartache. Think of yourself. You truly are better off. No cheating and abusive husband and no scummy friend. Does not sound sweet already? Please stick to your gun. Don't let them fool you. You are better than this and them. Please update us. Also, could you tell me how you stayed so focused and what made you think I have to go and I will not give you the chance to disrespect me? And how did you come out with a plan so fast? Were you always this confident and smart? Or was it something you had to work on? And last thing, I'm happy that you have a bright future ahead of you. If you want to share how your career is looking, please do. If you feel like it, shoot a message. I appreciate your faith and confidence in me, and while I am an overall level-headed, pragmatic, and confident person, I can assure you there was no grace to be had the night that I found them. Even with already begin equipped with the hunch that something was happening, nothing could emotionally prepare me for the whirlwind that was about to unfold. It was messy and showed no good sides of anyone. Honestly, I'm just fortunate to have such a good family. The night of, I grabbed a couple duffel bags worth of stuff, but left almost everything else. I realized the next morning that I definitely left out crucial items. The plan was really just to get through a few days before getting the rest of it. So I went back the next morning. The two of them also left that night. They were still gone, and my family showed up to help move out literally everything that belonged to me. I could have put up with a lot of things, but this is irreconcilable. I knew that no matter what, there was no turning back from blowing my life up. I need to get through these next few months, but it will be damn near impossible. My ex-husband and ex-best friend are now married. They are both total assholes, and even though I divorced him, which he tried to use as justification as to why I couldn't be mad about it, it destroyed me for a while. Him and I share a child as well, so to this day I still have to deal with them. Hopefully you guys didn't have kids so you can move on from this and never have to see them again. It will never be okay that they did that. You just need to talk to someone about it so you don't carry the distrust into future relationships. You will get past it one day. I'm sorry that happened to you, friend. I'm now divorced because of this, except the wife with one of my best friends, and a 30 years marriage. Happily single. That sucks. That really sucks. They're garbage humans. That said, I didn't hear any mention of children or mortgages. I'm thinking you found out who your husband was at a good time. I'm sorry it took longer on your friend. I hope you have success and happiness in your future, far away from either of them. Honey, the trash took itself out. Be free. You can do this. I went through this too in February 2021 with my BF of 4 years, which I was planning to marry, move in together and share our lives, and my BFF of 10 years. I packed all my shit and moved across the world to Italy. It still hurts like shit and sometimes it feels like I'll never get over it. I just hope one day I do. Loneliness? Sweetheart, that was a blessing in disguise. Look, I've been divorced over a year. No, it's not long, but one thing I'm enjoying is me. I'm going on my first solo cruise, etc. Look, he didn't deserve you and she didn't deserve a true friend, but you deserve better, and cry and get over it and get to moving towards living and loving you, and Mr. Right will show you that you deserve pure happiness. It's sad enough reading the original post, but even more sad and shocking to see all the other people this has happened to, and apparently how common this is. Yikes. Horrible. I'm so sorry, Op. Hugs. A double betrayal is absolutely excruciating. My husband of 22 years cheated with my best friend of 17 years, and the gaslighting on top of the betrayal was soul-crushing. Intense exercise saved my life. I wish I had known about this forum then, as you really do need someone to reassure you that you are not insane and that it is not your fault. There are many of this who have lived through this nightmare and survived, even come out stronger. But find some daily support, whether it is therapy, this forum, exercise, or a new hobby. It's not simple, and I don't want to minimize it. I can say that you will survive it. All the best to you. Thank you so much. There are so many of you I want to reply to, but especially to those who have been in my position. It means a lot. Just knowing I'm not the only person to have ever felt this bad or betrayed. It really helps to feel less alone. It's good you feel this way. I was the same as you after coming here and reading other people's stories. I no longer felt stupid and worthless because I realized that what happened to me can and does happen to anyone. It's been like virtual group therapy. None of us want to be here, but even a few kind words of understanding from a bunch of internet strangers make a world of difference. Hang in there and stay strong. Why is your BFF separated or getting a divorce? Lots of issues in their marriage, none to do with infidelity. She left him due to years of shit. I'm sure the timing of her leaving was pretty self-serving, though. Hi Op, I'm an infidelity survivor, but I also have a story from the friend's side, just to prove to you that you deserved better, and that what a decent human being would have done. When I was 24, I went flatting with my best friend's, since 5 years old, girlfriend in an apartment in the city. I was so excited as it was a cool apartment in a great location, and it meant I'd get to see my best friend all the time due to his girlfriend being my flatmate. Unfortunately, she dumped him and broke his heart after about 3 months. They had been together a year at that point. About 6 months later she started telling me she was in love with me, and trying it on with me. I'd come home and she'd be in my bed in lingerie, and she told all her friends that we were dating and that sort of stuff. She was incredibly attractive, and we got on really well together, liked the same stuff etc. But every single part of me was filled with despair at the thought of how my best friend would feel if I started dating her, as I knew he loved her and struggled big time when they broke up. He started having to drink to get to sleep at night. Just the thought of how crushing it would be to him, completely disconnected any attraction and any thoughts of anything being possible with her. It was just a natural thought to me. I didn't have to struggle with anything. A decent person would have done this in your situation as well. It would have made your friend feel physically sick to even consider doing it, let alone acting on it. I'm really sorry that you are going through it. You don't deserve it at all. This is the trash taking itself out of your life. My husband cheated on me, with what turned out to be nearly every woman I knew. I understand betrayal. It's taken me years of soul searching and pain, but I know now none of it was my fault. You will find better people, people who deserve you. It's more common than you think. That's why I don't have female friends. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.